We've been in operations since 2013, so we are over a decade in operations. We offer over 200 plus currency pairs in terms of, our trades. We have processed over 4 million transaction ticket sizes. We have also acquired over 26,000 customers globally. We've done over $9 billion in transactions in volume, and we've also been able to make settlements across over 115 plus countries globally as well. So some of the things that we've seen that corporates face in terms of cross-border payments include high costs, and this is as a result of the intermediary bank charges or the transfer fees or the FX itself, in terms of the pricing that corporates incur when you're doing a transaction. There's also over-reliance in USD. If you want to make an intra-African trade, you're moving money from one African country to another African country, you have to convert, the payment, the pay-in currency, to US dollars, and then convert it back to the payout currency in the local currency. So you have to, convert this or use the US dollars as the middle currency. In other finance, we help businesses to make their payments, FX or treasury needs. In terms of payments, some of the things that we offer is instant settlement using our robust white label API. So we do integrations with businesses that make or receive several payouts or collections at the same time, and we help them to do terminations across bank, mobile money wallets, or cash payouts. We also offer FX by providing best-in-class rates. We buy and sell over 300 plus currency pairs, and we also offer 24/7 live pricing. When you come to our platform, you'll be able to log in, and you can be able to see the price for the currency pairs that you're going to trade to carry out your transactions. In terms of treasury, we offer deep liquidity. We're able to avail our customers huge volumes to be able to carry out their transactions without having to make settlements to their suppliers in tranches that would also delay their shipments or their payment services to be executed.
Hi, this is Kea Nicholas from Enter Africa. We had a conversation earlier. Thank you for making it to Uganda. My question is to, let's say, startups, financial technology startups. Is there like a bare minimum you need to be able to integrate with your service?
So integration is only available for our API. We don't integrate with any other business. And on the API, you have to be a licensed partner. We don't integrate with non-licensed entities. So we integrate with remittance companies, for example. We do inward terminations into Africa, Asia, or Latin America. So inward remittances means that, you have an African in diaspora, say in Europe, sending money home to family members, maybe in Senegal, right? So when we integrate with the partner, we're not retail in any way, right? The user doesn't come to us directly. The user goes to your app or your platform if you are regulated, and then they create a transaction. Our white label API will pick the details of the beneficiary that your user has created on the platform, right? And then we will do the payouts or the terminations depending on the capability that has been selected. This capability can be bank, it can be cash, it can be mobile wallet, depending on what your user has created for the beneficiary. So it's only for licensed entities, like I said, and this is because we don't KYC your clients. We expect that as a licensed entity, you do your reportings, you do all your, you don't have any regulatory infractions. It doesn't mean that we would not KYC you. We'll ask for your a copy of your license, your anti-money laundering policy, your external audit reports to make sure that everything is in line with what the regulatory requirements are, so that you don't pose a risk, in terms of our operations or our licenses that we use. So if you are not a licensed partner, you cannot integrate with us using our API.
Last question is removing the startup or the middleman out. That means if I was just a normal client, I could just come and use your service.
As a business, not as an individual. Like I said, we're not retail in any way. Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you have a company and you need to make a payment to your supplier in China, for example, we can work with you where if you are in Uganda, you give us an invoice from your supplier issued to your business, ABC Limited in Uganda, which we would have KYC'd, obviously. We don't just collect money and pay out money, for transactions.
My name is Louise Karamaji. I'm with Airtel Uganda. I'm the lead for international money transfers. Basically, that the role is to drive innovations, collaborations, with an aim to achieve seamless, instant, secure, and borderless transactions for all our customers.
I am Fatimah Shamim, Kavuma. I serve at MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited, which is a subsidiary of MTN Uganda and the MTN Group. I sit with the products and innovations team, which does the creativity and innovation of the product for our customers. One of them being international remittances or cross-border payments.
I have one question, and I want to go down the line and ask each of you this same question. So I think, Fatimah, we can start with you. We only have 2 mics, so we may have to be passing the mic around a little bit. But in 10 words or less, please describe the current state of cross-border payments here in Uganda.
Okay. I would say that we've seen a huge improvement in terms of settlement times. Transaction processing that used to be or happen within within weeks, is now happening within days. So I think this is a huge improvement in terms of cross-border payments.
Okay. Thank you. Louise, same question. Please describe the current state of cross-border payments in Uganda.
I think I agree with Fatimah. There has been great growth over the years. If we say Aza is 10 years old, a decade, there has been a lot.
Just to supplement, I think whatever Louise and Fatimah have indicated is actually true. Just to supplement it, I think when it comes to the journey that Uganda has moved for the past many years, I think years before, I remember when I was growing up, my mom used to dress up, go to the Forex Bureau, pick money. They have, that whole time. I think that has totally changed across the years. And then also what we see is the growth in terms of the remittance value that comes in. Yeah. So I think we've seen growth to up to $1.4 billion into the Ugandan market, coming majorly from the Middle East, Europe, and the UK, which is quite a very big growth. And compared to 2023 versus 2022, where we just had our growth from $1.2 billion to $1.42 billion, I think that's quite big. And when we do the conversion to Uganda shillings, having 5.5 trillion Uganda shillings in terms of remittances, it's quite big.
Challenges still exist. And so what I want to hear from you guys is, what are the current challenges we still have to overcome with, making more seamless, more efficient cross-border payment system? And then how do we take these challenges and turn them into opportunities, not only for consumers, but for companies, for governments, and so forth? Thank you.
Yeah. If you don't have the right infrastructure, it's going to be almost impossible for you to carry out seamless cross-border payments. In terms of a solution, I would say partnerships. You should leverage on other partner infrastructure to be able to, expand your coverage or your presence, extending your geography to be able to give you a wider clientele base in terms of your operations.
The biggest challenge, I would say, is the FX. The challenge with the FX, you have to move, like she explained earlier, if you're transferring money from Senegal, you have to get the USD first, and then you have to, which eventually will make the transaction very costly. Yeah. We need the money. It's a good service. The customers love it. The partners love it, We love it as a telco because we all get, everybody gets a piece of the cake, but the fees are out of this world.
We always say that for every poison there is an antidote, yeah? So we are the antidote to the challenges, yeah? And we have tried our best. And I think in the near future that will cease to be a challenge. There will be very clear channels and operation models for us to be able to actually, serve the customers. Then touching the other piece, which is the cost, I think it's a general problem not only for Uganda but for the sub-Sahara and Africa as a whole. Yeah, the cost of money transfers is vulgar, I would say. Yeah, so what we have tried to do as MNOs is to make sure that the deals that you strike between us and the hubs are not as expensive as it was before, yeah? So we try our best to make sure that it's not as expensive as it used to be. First of all, because of the technology that is in place, number one is people do not have to move so long to actually do a transaction.
I do want to pivot the conversation a little bit, and I'm coming to Louise for this next question. More efficient cross-border payments, I believe, directly translates to greater financial inclusion. So I'm interested in hearing your point of view. How does more efficient cross-border payments translate to higher levels and higher rates of financial inclusion? And I'm not talking about just people who have accounts. I'm talking about meaningful financial inclusion.
The other good, actually great innovation is the open APIs. Because through the open APIs, we're able to seamlessly integrate different financial institutions and provide easy, seamless, and I would call it a wonderful service. But the challenge, that is an innovation, but then the challenge with that is, like Shamim mentioned, the grey roots. We call them the grey roots. So that is an area that is frustrating all the players, but then the solution...
Fatimah, how can fintechs and MNOs work together more effectively to progress the state of cross-border payments in Africa? And I'd like you to answer from the perspective of AZA Finance specifically.
Sure. I would say the power of collaboration. Yeah. There's no one partner, or provider that has all the infrastructure, all the operable markets, in the world to be able to carry out or facilitate cross-border payments. It is our collective responsibility as, fintechs, MNOs, banks, to steer the minds of industry leaders, gearing them to make the right choice in a payment partner, ensuring that, they handle or they go through a process that offers them an easier, faster, more secure, less risky ways to be able to facilitate their payments. I think that we are financial collaborators. There is no competition.
Yeah.
Andrew, yeah. The joint partnerships between ourselves, banks, fintechs, telcos can only enhance, the strength of cross-border payments in Africa.
So does anyone have any questions? I'll come to you with the mic.
You're speaking in the context of saying, well, this is where we should be. And I'm just curious, where should be in the context of today, what we know today. And I'm curious if there's any visionary thinking, and I was hearing Fatimah starting to talk about that a little bit, but maybe hear from Airtel and MTN on the forward-thinking elements of this, as opposed to getting what we need to get done today. Now, what FinTech's trying to do is work within the regulator system. The regulator system is built fundamentally for banks. Mm-hmm. You're not banks. Well, I don't know. Maybe you are a bank, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the point. So are you trying to be a bank, or are you evolving into something like a bank, which shouldn't be regulated by a bank regulator? And then what are the thinkings going on past that to think about what I think started, I heard it a little bit, I should be able to send my shilling in my wallet to my buddy in California, right? Mm-hmm. So that movement of cash and what's preventing that from happening from that perspective. Not just those small issues, but kind of the bigger, broader visionary issues from an MTN perspective, knowing the number of customers you have, from an Airtel perspective, knowing the number of customers, and also thinking about it through the context of, I would imagine that there's probably an eminent or an up-and-coming aggregator of customers other than a telco. Mm-hmm. You're probably looking at those. I'm curious who those are, right?
The vision is for the customer to be able to use services as long as you have the SIM card. Wherever you are, you should be able to use the services just like you're in country.
Given that we have a very huge shift around AI, I know MTN has just put up a structure, I think this week, but what are you doing collectively to ensure that there is data protection from the growth of AI going forward?
At Asa Finance, we have GDPR right here on the banner, right? We're certified. So data protection is key for us. We don't share customer information with an unauthorized third party. Let me say unauthorized. Of course, if a regulatory body or any form of authority asks for some information, either they're doing an investigation or a scrutiny, we are mandated to share client information.
We have a mandate to actually protect customers' information and also our partner information. So with the evolutions that are coming in place like AI, so whatever purpose AI can be used for, we have our internal controls, like for all of us have internal controls of what you can actually use AI for.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for all of your questions and for attending today's session. I'd like us to first of all give a big round of applause to our panelists. Thank you guys so much for coming and giving up time out of your day. Thank you to Azaf Finance for supporting this event. And also thank you to the Innovation Village here in Kampala. They've been amazing. If you ever need to host an event, this is a cool venue to do it in, so I'll endorse it.